Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day, get down.
Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day, get stronger.
Let's go. Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day, get better.
Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day,
What's up, good people? Welcome to the freaking Mean Green Show. I
Yes,
got
sir.
Jay Money in the building. Tell him what's up, Jay.
What's going on? How y'all doing today? How you doing today?
You know what? I told you my journey today.
It's been a journey,
I had a
y'all.
$49 haircut, y'all. I'm pissed about it. Shout out to my guy Chris Humphreys, man. I'm praying for you and the fam. But I dropped in at a barbershop near the crib, and I won't be back. And it's not just a dollar amount; it's the way he charged me in the service.
Man,
So y'all about to hopefully I should see like a paradigm shift in me in the next minute or two, because I am not excited about that.
man. Yeah, I wonder why I have so
Yeah,
much.
I
in
thought
my
about
face.
it. I was like, how long would it take me to grow my hair out like Jared? I don't think I keep up with it as well as you do though.
Hey, I am not gonna lie. I didn't keep up with it until about 6 months ago.
Really?
When we know why.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, nah, because I sleep and then it'd be like a flat top and then my hair different from yours, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to comb it out. But
funny.
look, guys, we are having a podcast show today. Today, man, we're still in the serious adjustments, and we've been rocking it, man. I've been really enjoying what we've been able to produce and conversate, and we have transparency moments, and then on the flip side, we have conviction moments, and it's been
Yes, sir.
helping me become a better person. So this week, this episode, Jay, what we got?
How we gonna bring this in?
So we've been talking about mentality.
Yeah.
This one is going to be more about
Action.
action, right?
Action. Yeah.
And it was funny because not that I've been listening to old school 2000 rap from Atlanta, but I did grow up in an era where Atlanta was popping.
Yeah.
And Ludo, he's one of my favorite
He
artists at
is.
that time. So last episode we were talking about, what was it? They just ain't doing
Oh
it
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And when we got off the podcast, Jerry was just like, man, that's kind of interesting because next week, our next episode. So we were sitting out for brunch when we were communicating, and we were like, action.
Action.
And then
Chris, Jared didn't say this.
I didn't know. I didn't know who was going to say who
I
said
don't know
it.
why this came to my head, but move.
Get
out the way.
Get out. Yeah, so today's episode is called Move B. I don't know cussing, so I'm not going to say the B word, but today's episode is called Move B.
There we go.
And I think for me specifically, man, there are segments mentally, emotionally, with my body and my relationship. Sometimes I just got to do it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I don't do it, it goes into my belief. Faith without work is dead. And I think that's what we want to dissect today. The way we enter this is, I think, with transparency moments. I am at the crib today. So thanks, Jared, for driving out
No problem.
to another city. But
As Jason would say, I had to catch a flight.
yeah, catch a flight. Had to go to Hobby, do a connecting flight out. But yeah, man, I think today, if I could be Chris in this moment, I want to be able to elaborate on experiences that I've had with people, including myself, and let you know moments where I had to move even when I didn't feel like it,
Yeah.
move when I didn't even have direction at times,
Yeah.
and move more importantly. This is so important to me. Move when I do have direction, because that's like one of the most aggravating things to me is when you have leadership, when you have advice, when you have mentorship, and they give you the formula, they tell you what to do, and then you don't do it.
Yeah.
But I've been there personally, so I want to be able to connect with all those things.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be juicy. I
Yeah.
like that.
So you lead it, Jay. What you
Lead
got?
it.
When saying that, hearing that, what is the thing that you think of when it comes to our members, or me as a person, or you as a person, when you hear "move B" and the things I said I want to connected with what your thoughts are? What you think?
I don't know. As you were talking, everything just resonates with me as far as movement and movement throughout every aspect of your life. Because like you said, sometimes you have direction and you still don't move. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't have direction and you're a deer in the headlights. We talked about that in the podcast. So with this podcast, I'm I'm interested to see the direction we take it.
Okay.
I'm interested to see the different pillars we hit as far as movement. And for you guys, the biggest thing I want you to take away from this podcast is to move.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about kind of how we give them a blueprint on how to do that.
Absolutely. Well, let's start here. One of the reasons why I believe in moving when you get advice or when they give you a system to move is because I know how it feels to move without it.
Yeah.
So let's start there. I'm going to start at a personal journey. For me, I did not know how to get a scholarship in basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when you grow up only wanting to know one thing and you work your butt off day and night to do one thing, but still you're not getting maybe the impression or the attention that other people are getting, it wasn't height or speed or skill set. Sometimes it was knowing how to get noticed or putting yourself in a position. So for us, in my era of growing up, AAU basketball was starting to take off.
Yeah.
But I was still playing in my front yard while the D Gibbs and the Tack Miners and Indy Ebbies were playing at AAU. So we're still the same age going through the process of school.
Yeah.
But while I'm out hooping in the street thinking I'm doing something, they're traveling and getting different exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I did get to a point my junior year where I finally played AAU, these guys have been playing 5-6 years. They've already been recruited. It's time for them to pick from the litter of colleges. For me, I was like, oh, well, then it was my first time playing in front of Coach K.
Yeah.
My first time playing in Roy Williams. And it's like, that's a shock when you see these guys you admire. And these guys have been playing in front of these coaches for X amount of years.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a time where I was moving and I didn't have any direction. So questions I have for you guys that are online, and then I'm turning to you, Jared, is what are you facing right now that you don't have, what are you facing now that you don't have direction in? If you're open to it, it'd be cool to see some feedback. And as I turn and do what I said I was going to do, Jared, question I have for you is what have you done? Let's go outside of business. Cool. What have you done by implementation that you didn't know, but when you learned it, you did it?
By implementation that I didn't know, when I learned that I did it. We're talking outside of business.
If possible. Because all you do is work.
I
work.
wish.
Is that a song? Work.
It is.
All right.
Man, so as y'all know, I played football, so my head always goes straight to football. So I'm trying to take y'all away from football in this podcast, but it's hard because football is my life. And something that's relatable to you guys, to where it's not only thinking in a sports light, but for me, honestly, working out in general before I actually knew what the hell I was doing was something that I was just doing because I knew. It's kind of I'm putting this in a perspective of you shooting basketball in the driveway, right? You're shooting hoops, knowing that what you're doing is going to help you get to where you want to go, but it's not helping you in a way of you're not playing AAU basketball, getting exposure, getting a college scholarship. So you knew shooting in the driveway it's something that is going to help you get to it, but not in a way that obviously playing AAU basketball. For me, that was lifting for a while. Like I knew lifting was going to get me
too.
the body that I wanted to get, but I wasn't on a program. I was just doing some reps of bench press, and I was just doing some curls and
3 sets of 10.
doing what some people just some stuff people were telling me to do.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. So that was definitely a time where I didn't have direction, but I was just doing it. Like,
what changed? And working out wise, what was it? Education? Was it somebody? Just curious.
Education and having workout partners, because this is funny because I'm not knocking my football players, but every single football player that I've ever been in a weight room with is a trainer. Every single one of them. Every single one of them knows what's.
That's crazy.
They all know what they're doing, and let me put, what do you call these, quotations? Let me put quotations around that. They're trainers. They all know what they're doing. They all know what the max the rep count you should be at. They know the weight you should be putting on there. They know what works, what doesn't work. They know you need to be doing bench press, and then after bench press, do 10 push-ups. That's the only way to grow muscle.
Yeah.
So having to, listen to all of that being thrown at you, you kind of do figure out like what actually works, what doesn't work, what's overwork, what's underwork.
Yeah, man.
So I was able to educate myself to better understand, like, okay, what am I actually doing? What is
Yeah.
my goal? And to
That's
dig into
funny.
that.
Because basketball is different. Because a lot of basketball players are typically skinny.
Yeah.
So anytime they get advice on how to lift something, they
Oh, they
try.
ready.
Because all we did is 3 sets of 10 bench press,
Yeah.
curl, shoulder press, and some squats. And our squats was not the way that we do squats at Bang Green, right? But, it's interesting to say that because notice where we're starting with this portion. I'm not telling anybody necessarily to move if you don't have direction, right? I'm not going to tell you to go out and I don't know, since I'm at the crib, I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy a weed eater and you never had guidance on how to use it because you can actually hurt yourself, or hurt someone else. So, right? So, first and foremost, number one, if we were to give an order, man, learn and be educated or get someone that knows it to teach it. I think that's a component when we get to movement and action is that people just literally will watch a Instagram reel and look and see what they did on their highlight tape and then do that for the next 12 weeks and then the progression didn't take place or maybe the advice you found on the IG from that 60-second conversation, you expected that to change your relationship and your marriage or, it's really important that you get the correct guidance and someone is, I guess, wise in that field to lead you and guide you.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jared, is the thing or the reason why people don't start with that first step? Why more people don't start with acknowledging that they don't know? Why more of the football players won't acknowledge, like, you know what, I might not know this. How do I move forward? Is it pride? Is it ego?
That's the first thing that came to my head, man. J. Cole came out with a beautiful song.
Oh,
Pride is the devil. That's what it is. I think it's got a hold on. That's the song. Pride, man. Pride. I think if I could say that those words were true, I mean, pride is the devil. It really, really is. When I think people have pride on a football field. I think people have pride in a kitchen. I think people have pride in a weight room. Depending on what your profession is, you probably have pride in your job. If you're a computer programmer, you probably have pride with that, especially based on the levels you're at.
Yeah.
If you're an executive, you probably have too much pride to where you won't listen to somebody under you, and I think that's what it boils down to. Like how does me, the executive, ask for an associate for help?
I like that.
I guess it's hard because of most of the time it's pride. But I think the most prominent leaders in this world, I think, have the ability to drop pride and ask those associates for help, ask the janitors for help with certain things. And when you're able to do that,
absolutely,
sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. Because, like pride is such a crab mentality to me. The crab mentality, right? You're in a bucket full of crabs, and every time you get a little further, somebody pull you out. I think that's your mentality pulling you down from wherever else you're trying to achieve. And I think it's just not worth it at the end of the day. Pride is just not worth it. But my hope is when you hear this or see this is that, okay, if I do have a prideful situation, I didn't even recognize it was pride. Let's cut that today.
Yeah.
Let's cut that today. All right. So in the episode, Move B, the very first thing, if it's there, is like release pride because we need structure, we need understanding, we need wisdom to move forward with the direction that we want to go.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to look up something because it goes into the base of what we're talking about. But the question I have for you as I'm looking it up, so I'm not being rude when I look this up. The question I have for you, Jay, is if someone is, I don't know, man, because at the end of the day, we all have this journey of life, and it's not the same for everybody. And sometimes people had maybe received bad advice, and it wasn't the best wisdom, and it took them in a direction that they shouldn't have been. And now they just like, well, I'm not going to try to work out no more because I did hire a trainer, and it didn't go the direction that I wanted to go. Or I did listen to my homegirl and finally start dating, and he didn't do me the way that I wanted to be, or he did not treat me the way that I wanted to be treated. What would you tell the person that have tried and now they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna not do anything? Do they still move or do they sit where they're at?
What do I tell that person? Well, let's look at it from a coaching perspective. From let's see. Do y'all think Tom Brady had one quarterback coach his whole life? Or do y'all think Peyton Manning had one quarterback coach his whole life? Did they have one coach that coaches all the quarterbacks in the NFL? Same thing with training, tennis. Serena Williams coach. Was she the only coach? That's kind of the way that I look at it as far as trying things. There are different coaches that work for different people. There are different programs that work for different people. There's different things that work for different people. So to say that you tried it one way and it didn't work, so you're going to completely just stop, that's hard for me to agree with. Because
that'll preach.
You haven't tried it. Well, let's just say this. If you – what do they say? You don't fail unless you quit. All right, so for you to say you've tried and you failed means you've tried and you quit. So if you don't quit and you continue to try and try different avenues until it works, then it's gonna work because you're gonna try until it works. But if you try and fail and then you're done, you quit. So you try until you quit.
I love that. So all those facets, right? We just kind of were able to capture from the standpoint of not even the progression of the start moving.
Yeah.
All right. Now we know we have to move, but there's some things we're gonna have to overcome.
Yeah.
Whether you just been prideful or maybe you tried it and didn't go the way you wanted to go, we know we have to get to the solution of move.
Yep.
All right. So this is like my enjoyable moment of this podcast because when we talked about this is like the portion that I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I got some lyrics I want to read out to you. All right. So I'm gonna do the PG version of this. So, Jared, if you're going to ad-lib on any of this, so is Luda in this song is also, I forgot, Mystical was also in this
Mystical.
song. So he talk a little fast, so I'm not going to try to keep up what he's at. But, oh, no, fights out. I'm about to punch your lights out. Get back. Guard your grill. All right, let's stop right there. All right, we're going to pick this back up. So let's read those again, okay? Oh, no, fights out. I'm about to punch your lights out. All right. You know why I like this song? I used to actually listen to this song before I used to play in games, right? Because it's a mentality that I had to have going into the court. Because at the end of the day, I'm 1 out of 9 other players that are going to be on the court, right? It's 5 on my team, 5 on the other team. So out of 10, I'm 1. I'm 10% of the people that's going to be on that court.
Yep.
Out of 50%, they're on the other team. And they're trying to destruct me. They're trying to destroy me. They're trying to not allow me to score. They don't want me to dribble the ball. They literally want to take it from me. They want to take my dreams from me. I'm playing in front of that coach to earn that scholarship, and they're trying to stop me from producing in front of that coach. So that was my mentality. So my question for us is, what's your mentality going towards losing that 50 pounds today or this year? Or what's your goal towards beating that health report? Because at the end of the day, you got to have that mentality. So when we talk about move, get out the way, this ain't no, can you excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to my goals. Number one thing, I like the way this is headed.
Oh, yeah.
Jared, what's one thing that stops people from moving? We talked about the start of it. Let me put one out there. Number one, yourself. How many people we train have the luxury to train, but they're their worst critic? They're the very person that's stopping them from moving forward. Now, when we say the things that we're saying, we acknowledge and know that mental health is a serious and a real thing. All right. Look, I 100%, right? But on the flip side, there are people that use thoughts that I have. Chris, you're not going to amount to be good enough to do what you're aiming to do. Chris, you're not strong enough. Chris, stop. You can't run this 100-meter run without taking a break. Like, that's who I'm talking to at this segment. Yeah. Jared, what do we tell them right now? Like, when it comes to mentality to move, what do they have to overcome when their brain tell them they can't do it or they shouldn't do it or they're not worth to do it? Have you ever dealt with that?
Oh, all the time.
What would that knee injury? Great injury. Great example. So if I don't follow this guy by now on IG, I should, right? He does great work on it. So one post, if it's okay for me to open up with this, you were very transparent about not just your procedures in your knee, but also the emotional attachment with it.
Yeah.
Right. What was those conversations like to yourself after the operation? You know, what was those conversations like, the rehab, trying to get back on the field? What were those conversations like?
I think it's just brutally honest. I'll just
Yeah.
say that to myself. Because at the end of the day, everything that you say you can't do it is a reality. I can't do this 100-meter. That is a reality. You could actually not do that 100 meters. So for me, a lot of it in the conversation with that knee, I might not come back from this. That is a reality. I might not come back from this. This hurts. That is it hurt.
Yeah.
That was a reality. I might not be as fast or as explosive as I was. I might not be able to play college football. This might be the end of my career. Like, all of that was a reality, and I had to understand that. But I also had to understand / make the other end of that my reality. So I didn't have to accept what
I like that.
the bad, the negative reality was. Like, yes, it's reality. Yes, if I stop right now, that will come to fruition, but I don't have to accept that. And that's where the fight and the paradigm shift came of, it hurts, but I'm going to get stronger and make it not hurt.
I like that.
I'm going to get a scholarship. I'm not going to tear my ACL again. All of the positivity, shifting away from that, I made that my reality.
I like that. So it is hard for somebody to lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to be conditioned to eating smothered pork chops or Italian food or fajitas, and you've been doing that for 45 years. Now you meet this guy with this nice hair that tell you you need to start eating more unprocessed food than processed food. It is hard to break an addiction of alcoholism.
Yeah.
It is hard to break a mentality of being negative. Like, I'm trying to match the thoughts that you had when you were thinking about your knee, and we are being really honest. I think one of the hardest things anybody can do in their life is actually to lose weight and keep it off.
Keep it off.
You know what I mean? Like, I get the public speaking, I get the heights, but seriously, if anybody's overcame a physical appearance and you kept it off, like, I dare you to comment below. I dare you, if you know somebody, if you know anybody that lost 100, no, even 30 pounds. You know somebody that lost 30 pounds and kept it off, I dare you to ask them mentally, like, what did you have to overcome? Was that easy or was that hard? And the prescription you just gave, that was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
You're saying even though it's hard to lose 100 pounds, even though it's hard to break those addictions, you had to mentally think and acknowledge that it is hard, but I also can lose the 30 pounds.
Yeah.
I also can lose the 100 pounds. I also can find joy in eating more clean. I can find joy in being healthy and being around my family and friends, and that was able to fuel you to get you where you're at now versus stand.
Absolutely.
Move, be, get out the way. All right.
Because that's what it boils
I like
down
that.
to is one thing is just as much reality as the other thing.
I like
but
that.
you decide what is going to be a reality. If it's going to be the negative, that can be your reality. If it's going to be that positive, make that your reality.
There's something wrong here. We can't stay still. This part don't make sense to what we're talking about, but I'm going to read it, okay? Should I read it? All right. There's something wrong. We can't stay still. I've been drinking and busting too, and I shouldn't have said that part. Am I getting too much into the song?
Make it make sense.
I cannot make that make sense, but I can fast forward to the part of the lyrics that I did read earlier that I want to talk about. Causing confusion and disturbing the peace.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, for relationships especially, I had to cause confusion and disturb the peace because the decisions that I had to make for Chris Green wasn't a decision that everybody else wanted me to make.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted me to be an owner of Mean Green. Everybody wanted – there were peers that thought I would have been better at other job scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So I had to disturb the peace. Straight up. Like, there are some people that probably didn't want me to be married.
Mm-hmm.
I had to disturb the peace,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that's okay because ultimately life is not built upon pleasing everybody. Life is about finding peace, right? You will notice with peace, the people that love you the way they should, they're part of that peace,
Yeah.
right? But if people don't love you the way they should, they're not a part of that peace. And I think a great example would be if Tina and I are married,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably a woman that got upset that I got married, right?
Very fair.
If I was going to please her, would I please Tina?
Nope.
If I please Tina, can I please her?
Nope.
I had to disrupt the peace, man. So I would love to see your perspective now going back to the gym, going back to working out. We just talked about mentally what you had to overcome with your knee and how you used the other scenario to produce the result that you desire and deserved. How does that look for the person? And when I say disturb the peace on this, it's as respectful as possible because I want to be transparent because this is what a lot of us deal with. How difficult is it to run a household when the household have 2 kids that want chicken nuggets and the husband that want Italian food, but you got goals, you know? Do you consider that even disturbing the peace? That's disturbing the peace still? Talk to me.
I would. I mean, we've hit on just different aspects of this all the way throughout, and for the kids, it's a little bit harder, just because they're kids, right? But man, I feel like, and guys, I could be wrong.
I love these conversations.
I could be wrong. I just feel like as a married couple, you should support each other in your goals and your dreams.
You
right?
should not be wrong. But keep going.
Right. So I just feel like, and we're talking about marriage, but at the same time, the person that you're with, if I'm trying to lose weight, or you for instance, so you have to eat healthy, you have to eat a certain thing, but you're with somebody that's continuously asking you to do things that aren't healthy, there needs to be a disruption of peace there. That there needs to be, not maybe,
Absolutely.
because it's going to be very hard for you to eat clean 5 days a week, but your significant other is not even a third of concerned about that, and they're bringing home chicken and burgers and like every night, and that's their dinner. Yeah. So it's like, how do you expect me to get to my goals, or how do you support me in getting to my goals if you're not even
Absolutely.
Because even if you're gonna do it, like, go eat it before you come in the house.
Right.
Like, dude,
it's tough.
Yeah, like something like that.
It's this platform has the opportunity to be real, and it's not saying that Jared and I are 100% correct of what we're saying. Remember, we're just sharing our opinion.
Yeah.
And being in those life situations, I 100% know firsthand, and outside looking in, I know it's difficult, man. But there's no way, as I say that. What's up, Bubba? You want to do what? Oh, those are fast. Well, can we play with that after I finish? Okay, can you go back in and tell everybody hi yeah, come on. Tell everybody hi so I can finish my line before I forget it. You going to tell everybody hi? You don't need the mic.
You got to wave.
You got to just wave.
He looked back at it.
Look at him weird. All right, go back in, Bubba. We'll be in there in a little bit. I've completely forgot.
Okay.
Do you remember? No. I completely forgot. I'm sorry, guys. It just came back to me. So being honest and being real with the situation. When we say disturb the peace, specifically for me, when we talk about a household, I'm not saying piss people off. I'm not saying cut your husband, tell your wife to move out. I'm not saying that. But to me, is it really true peace if a person in their household can fully express themselves and implement and also be supported on what they're trying to produce? That's not peaceful.
Yeah.
That's not peaceful. That's like Tina coming home saying, I want to go to school. I want to go back to school. And I say, no, you're not smart enough. You don't got enough time. Like, is she going to find peace from that? No, she needs support. She needs help. Now, if she say, hey, Chris, I want to go to Yale University. Is it University of Yale or Yale University? One of them. We can call it Yale.
Yeah.
Okay. If she's, hey, I want to go to Harvard.
Yeah.
And I might say, Tina, I can't afford Harvard.
Yeah, that's different.
Right? You get where I'm going, guys? It's not that you can't. It's not that you have to understand your spouse or your significant other or your child. It's just about you finding an understanding towards where you want to go. So for the household that has the challenge of preparing 3 different meals, I'm going to say it the way that I'm going to say it just because I'm Chris, and I'm going to say it just the way I say it. Move, B. I can't give you a pass on that. I can't give you email to say, hey, I'm sorry, and everybody gets a blue ribbon for participating. I'm telling you right now, if you really want to change your body, you can't eat what your child eat because they're your children, and you can't eat what your boo's eating because you love them. For you to get your body the way that you want to get it, or for you to defeat that health odd or be a part of the percentage that actually succeed, it's no everybody get a blue ribbon day.
Yeah.
Move. Figure it out. Is it going to be tough?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is it going to be hard at moments? Absolutely. Will you break down tears sometimes? Maybe so. But at the end of the day, man, to lose 50 pounds, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear. And I know that's not going to be a popular snippet that people are going to share. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't execute the love that I need to execute.
I agree. And I think this speaks to both parties in that light. Because if you're the significant other that's walking in with burgers because that's what you want to eat, but your spouse want to eat spaghetti squash.
Yeah.
Pride is the devil.
There we go. Bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Just because you want to sit on the couch and eat a burger and, I don't care about losing no weight. You can do that if you want to.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. And I've heard couples that interact like that before, man. Y'all gotta work together.
Gotta work together.
And it's pride. It sits on pride.
Gotta work together. And for me being married, going on 8 years on Monday.
Whew.
Shout out to Tina. Happy anniversary.
Out. Monday. Dang.
Monday. If a lot of times little arguments ain't about the little thing. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Sometimes if your spouse act a certain way about a burger, it's probably
Deeper than that.
It's probably a little deeper than the hamburger, right?
Yeah.
So communicate. And this Mean Green show is not about relationships because I'm the last one you want to listen to. But my goal with this show is to encourage you to move even when it doesn't feel I don't want to say right, even when the odds are against you or when it's not easy. I think that's the thing that I'm really proud of myself is that I move even when it wasn't easy. And I made a post the other day about my sons, and I put them in a league that's older than them. And on purpose, I showed in the snippet of the Instagram missing shots, the kid literally knocking them over to get the ball. But if I don't give them that perspective of life, then they don't grow.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I love the clip where Caleb got knocked over and he immediately gets up and continue to move forward towards the ball. I think that's where some of us are at. Sometimes we get knocked over because something was bigger than them.
Yeah.
Or they had more experience than them, or they had more resources than them, and then they stop. No, get up, move, be. I'm just caught on that, Jared.
I love that, man. I think it's a reason as humans we love underdog stories. But, man, the work that goes into the underdog story, the underdog rising to the top,
Yeah,
that's what we love.
absolutely.
We love that people start from the bottom. Like that's a thing in rap lyrics. We love people that start from the bottom, and now we're here, like making it to the top. But some of us really hate starting from the bottom.
Absolutely.
Like we hate being knocked down and having to climb our way back up. But we love those stories, though. We love hearing them.
Yeah.
But we don't like being
That's real.
the subject of material, right?
That's
so
real. Have you ever told a Giant story when the Giant won?
have I ever told it?
Yeah. Do you even know a Giant story when the Giant won?
I mean, no.
Because you got David and Goliath.
Yeah.
What's the Jolly when he had the Jolly and Beanstalk?
Jack and the Beanstalk?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Anywho, none of those stories are told unless the Giant is defeated, man. So I'm going to pull up the lyrics again, but starting with the Luda, okay, pulling it back up. We talked about moving, and not being apologetic about it. Because just remember, man, if it's not for you, it's against you, man. Hey, if the food ain't for you, it's against you. If the consistency in your workout is not for you, it's against you. So I love that portion of the lyric. And then the second part, we talked about disturbing the peace, man. We used a very very difficult situation as an example, but I really wanted to paint that picture of, man, disturbing patterns that don't give you the success, no matter whether it's the kitchen in your household or your group of friends that make fun of you because you want to be healthy. Like, you're going to have to disturb the peace to get to where you're going. All right, here goes another one, because I ain't going to go through every lyric like I did last time. As Caleb roll a foam roller to the –
He's good.
Okay.
He stops.
Thank you for being an uncle, man. All right, going back. I'm sorry. Where we at? All right, here we go. Continue from where we picked off. Causing confusion, disturbing the peace. It's not an illusion. We run in the streets. My favorite part. So bye-bye to all you groupies and you gold diggers. All right, let's talk about it. All right, Jared. So I'm going to repeat it just in case. I know you're multitasking. It's not an illusion. We run in the streets. I want to talk about what that means to me.
Okay.
And I'm talking to every single one of y'all that didn't believe in me. Like, I'm not calling no names, but what I'm doing in these streets, it's not an illusion. It's real, right? And I'm not the gym owner or the trainer unless it's a distraction to them or the class. If you ever train with me or ever followed us on IG, you'll notice that I don't mind people setting up a camera in the corner to record them producing a workout, because they're going to post it on IG. And I love that because, like, it's real in these streets, man. Like, this is not an illusion. Like, you out there really doing it. And I think sometimes people, I get the other side, but I'm going to say this one first. I think it's crazy how people can produce so much work and they're embarrassed of what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's like me being embarrassed of being a father to Caleb and Christopher.
Yeah.
Like, that's like me being embarrassed of being a son of Etna and Milton. Like, the thing that you rock and the thing that you're achieving, like, let the world know, man, it's not an illusion. Like, we out here getting it. But the only way you do that is by production. Now, I do believe that you don't show all your cards to everybody. You only show it to the people that support you and love you. But don't be apologetic about what results and what success that you're finding in your life.
Yeah.
Jared, have you ever dealt with the opposite end where you almost didn't want to produce? Because this is a real thing, what I'm about to ask you. You didn't want to produce a result or show a result because you was afraid of people's opinion of your success.
Produce or show? Ooh.
I dealt with it with a lot of things.
You go first on that. Answer your own question. And then
Well, I bought
I
my very first car. Shout out to Mama and Daddy. They got me a car.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Volkswagen Jetta. Second car, the Jetta it was done. It was his time. So my dad, he was supposed to go buy him a car, but he went to an auction and got me the Impala that everybody now knows for the Mean Green Machine that I turned into an advertising vehicle for, all the years I had it. But I didn't want to buy another car because I felt that if people saw me with success, they wouldn't want to support me. And it was based upon conversations that I would hear about, and we've talked about this publicly in different formats about the expectation of how people in the fitness space should live. And it's funny, we talked about a post the other day, but I once heard somebody at one of my boot camps say, man, I wouldn't want to go train with nobody, and he drove a Corvette. Like, he doing better than me. So mentally, right, I was like, I don't want to show anybody that I'm finding success in the fitness space because I didn't want nobody to leave me.
Yeah.
And I think I was almost dummying down my effort because of someone else's opinion. And long story short, I had to overcome that. Like, if you don't want to be with me because I'm finding success, then you're not the person that need to be around me. I had to outgrow that. So that's why I like that portion in that lyric. So I was curious if you ever entertained that thought, like, maybe on the football field, you scored 3 touchdowns, and then your teammates kind of like, oh, man, his name was in the paper, and you kind of like don't go as hard in practice or you don't do as good. I've dealt with that in so many different formats. So I was curious to see if you have, and then I wanted to kind of say what I say to them.
Honestly, not to that extent.
That's
I
good.
don't think so. I think for football wise, obviously, I did put in a lot of work just to even be able to get a scholarship offer. So the work that went in to get that, I think, obviously that part was not an illusion.
Yeah.
Like I was out there. I was out there 3 o'clock in the middle of the day,
Putting
or
in the work.
2 o'clock in the middle of the day, putting in the work that nobody was willing to put in. But when it came to the scholarship, I kind of had both ends. There was the success end, but there was the not where I want to be in. So yeah, I'm here, and everybody, oh, you got a scholarship, oh, you got XYZ. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Even for teammates, because you had teammates, and the one thing that I did have to understand was because I went to a small school, a lot of the people there, and at small schools, just so you guys know, you don't necessarily get, unless you're going to detour up, you don't get like a full ride, right? You get percentage. So I got the highest percentage I could get at the school I went to. But only like 5 players got that. So majority of the other players are smaller percentages, right? So talking to them, it was kind of like, oh,
Right.
you got X percentage, you got X percentage. And at those points in time, like, it wasn't a loot. Like, I worked my ass off to get the percentage I got.
Absolutely.
I worked hard to get this. But there it's like, oh, the coach is just like you because you can catch a pass. Okay.
It's not an illusion. It's not an illusion. Jared, we in these streets. I love my job, man. I love being able to break down the lyrics of Ludacris to inspire our family. This is what I want to say to you, man. And you can zoom up if you need to. Sis, when she tell you getting too skinny, it's not an illusion. We running the streets. You are not getting too skinny just because you're eating healthy and you're being consistent and you're working out. That's crazy that somebody would try to tell you something to disrupt your pattern for you to go back to where they're doing, right? That's insane, bro, for somebody to tell you that, man, I don't know, bro, you ain't going to be able to do what somebody told me once. I played basketball, and I was putting on some ass. You ain't going to be able to shoot a jump shot. You're getting too muscular. Look, bro, don't bring me back down to your level because I'm in the weight room being consistent. But look, man, I really have a passion for you guys to not allow people to detour you based upon your success of your consistency, and then you be ashamed of what you're putting out there. Squash that.
I want to add to that. Look at it as a good thing. Literally, when people are trying to pull you down, think about that. They're trying to pull you down.
I like that.
That means you're going up.
I like that.
You're separating yourself. So if you have people trying to pull you down,
Let's go.
man, shake them.
Let's go.
Shake them. Like, understand that. It's time to shake them.
Let's go. I think we can finish. We talked about something outside of sometimes we go get pizza. And outside we were talking about something. And that makes sense. Like what you just said to what we were talking about is like, I kind of drove away like, why would somebody really go out their way just to kind of make up a complete lie to disturb something they don't even have nothing to do with?
Yeah.
And it's because I'm going up. I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about it. So the next lyric on the part I wanted to kind of finish with was finish this last statement with was, so bye-bye to all you groupies and gold diggers. I'm saying goodbye to all of them, Jay Money. So, hey, man, again, move, B. All right, Jay, let's finish this up with a couple more lyrics. You good with that?
Yeah.
We
We do got to hit on one more point.
What you got? Now? We do it now?
No, you can hit the lyrics. But we do got to hit one more point.
Are you going to forget it?
I got it.
Okay.
You hit 3 points to start the podcast. I want to hit on the last one.
All right. This part is kind of an iconic lyric from this song, and we kind of tapped on it a little bit, but I think it's really important as you hear the green beans. Christopher, Caleb, can you guys go inside for a second? Y'all are loud. Y'all are loud. Okay, one more time. If y'all get loud, then we're going to kick you off the Mean Green Show.
Okay, we'll be quiet.
They are not going to be quiet. Give them 2 minutes.
Start your timers.
Yeah. So here we go. Popular lyric. If you're doing, where's it go? I'm doing 100 on the highway. So if you're doing the speed limit, get the
About a mile away.
All right. Dope lyric. Like, everybody said that. But the reason why, man, Jared and I read a book, and is Grant Cardone, 10X. And going 1X is progression.
Right.
Like, if I go 10% more than the average person, man, you're really above the game.
Absolutely.
But if I'm going 10X, 100 more percent than the average person, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed, especially in business, is that when I'm really executing at a really high level and I'm passing people up on the way, like I'm telling them to get out my way, but I think sometimes people, when it comes to their success, sometimes they get sidetracked because they're progressing and people around them that potentially even grew up with are not progressing. So I really would love to dive in and get a response from you.
Okay.
Why is it important to not slow down when you have momentum to go into where you're going? Like, is it okay to stop if you're going 100 miles per hour and you're getting there and you're really executing, you're happy and you're finding joy and you're finding peace? Is it okay to stop that just because somebody else that you love or somebody you know is not moving as fast as you and you're trying to bring them up with you and your speed, but they're not trying to go your speed? They're not trying to eat as clean as you. They're not trying to go to boot camp as much as you. They're not trying to feed themselves with things that fuel their spirit like you are. Is it okay to kind of stop what you're doing? Or, like, I'm not saying which one's right or wrong. I just want Jared's opinion. What you got, Jay?
Man, I read a post today. I think it was about Denzel Washington. It said there 84,000 seconds in a day. Might be a little bit more. Or 84,400 seconds in a day. Something like that. And it had to do with people getting mad.
Okay.
Right? So basically the analogy he used was if you had $84,460 and somebody stole 60 from you, would you throw the other 84,000 away to get the 60 back that person took from you? And he related that to seconds because there's no way in hell you would throw away $84,000 to get back 60 because somebody took it from you, right?
I like that.
But that's the way you put your day into perspective. There's only 84,400 seconds in a day. If somebody takes 1 minute from you, is that worth the other 84,000?
I love that.
So when it comes down to you getting to where you want to go, if you have 84,000 seconds to speed and get there, and there are other people trying to get you to slow down, man, you only have 84,000. So I think that I'm not going to say people have success windows, but you have a limited lifetime.
That part.
You have a limited amount of time
I like that.
you have to, for us, physically train. I'm not saying I can't be an 84-year-old trainer, but you have limited time. So
That's real.
that's kind of the way I look at it. If I have the opportunity, if my car is oiled up enough, if I have enough gas to go 100 miles an hour right now, my car might not be able to go 100 miles an hour in 20 years. So right now, I'm going 100.
So get the out of my way.
That's how I feel.
I think that's so dope. I'm thinking of the last workout was really brutal on Wednesday, Spicy Hump Day, when we did 200-meter runs every 3 rounds, and the next 3 rounds after that was 400, next 3 rounds after that was 800.
Yeah.
So not that I was thinking of this thought now, but it's coming to me now that we're talking about what we're talking about. I'm looking like at Mui. Who else was running in the front? Christian. It was like 8, 9 people, dog. They were just getting it. I was in the back. I still hit my numbers, but I was in the back.
Yeah.
But that's really like Tiffany Hill or Mui or Allie Clayton in the front working their ass off, giving 100%. I'm giving 60%. That's like me stopping, like, hold on, my kid's talking to somebody I don't know. Okay. I'm back. That's like Mooey and them giving 100% on a sprint, and I'm going 60%, and I'm like, hey, Mooey, slow down because I want to go 60%. No, get out of her way, man. And I think that is nothing wrong. Is nothing wrong at all with progression, and don't apologize about it. And I think that the thing that I noticed about Mooey and Dame and everybody that was running at that speed was that they wasn't alone. There were some people that wanted to run and give the same intensity, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to your life, your mentality, your soul, your body, your health, if you're going at a rate and you're finding the joy that you want from that, like, don't slow down. I promise somebody want that same effort. Somebody want that same success, man. It's funny. For someone to even there's no way around it. For someone to even to think that Jared and I have a bad relationship because we give the same amount of effort, like, why in the world should that even bother you or I?
Yeah.
Like, we going 100%. We want to wake up and change the world. We want to wake up and grow mean green. We want to wake up and help every single soul that we have the ability to do so. We want to put ourselves in thousands and thousands and thousands more people. Like, for anybody that's upset at us because we have that same DNA, like, that's crazy. But the truth is that I did have a thought like, dang, like, what did he,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't have that thought. So if I had it, it's okay that you had it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did have it, just know it's nothing wrong with you going forward. I encourage you to play this song and put it on the lyrics that are not as explicit as the ones I listen to. And listen to that lyric where he say, I'm doing 100.
On the highway.
And if you get the out of my way, man. That's how I feel today, though, dog. That's how I feel. Get out of my way. Jared, what's his last point, bro?
Last point. So it's going to be hard to get to this point based off everything we just talked about. But the last
I'm
point
with
that
it.
you talked about was movement
Okay. Yeah, okay.
while you have direction,
Right.
but not making any movement. You have direction, but
We
you're
gotta
not
talk about
making
it.
any movement.
We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. My dad, man, is freaking awesome, dog. My dad once told me how to be a man. I don't want to talk about the detail on this platform. I do it on I Am Alpha, but it's coming soon. He told me how to be a man in a certain scenario, and I froze for years and didn't provide it for whatever reason. But I wasn't that type of man until I actually completed the task. And I think that's where we're at in seasons of our lives, is that some reason, for whatever, we don't move and we do have direction.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Jared, I could not call myself that type of man until I produced it. So the question is for everybody else, like, what do you know? What have you learned? What have someone taught you, but you're not that person, or you haven't achieved that thing because you haven't completed the task?
Yeah.
Can you think of a scenario? Can we go to Bootcamp?
Yeah.
Or you want to go to Humble or Herman or both?
Let's go to both.
All right, you're at Humble. We off Woodland Hills. Herman, you off 6,000 Herman Drive. The person that comes and you tell them, it's not even the way your body want to look thing. It's more of developing positive habits. If you tell them, hey, just come see me 3 times a week at either location. And if you do that 3 times a week, you will see me over 150 days in 365 days. If you do that, I'll create consistency in your life. For the person that signs up and actually buys the year up front, but you don't see them again, what would you tell them right now?
That buys the year up front, don't see him again.
Because the thing is, you're telling them how you're going to create consistency. It ain't about losing weight or putting on muscle. You're just saying that you're going to create consistency in their life.
Yeah.
Right? That's the trigger behind the thought. And then they know and believe in you because they're there. And they believe in you so much, they not paying month to month. They bought the whole year. But they didn't show up. What can you tell that person now? That's real. That's real. Because I've been that person.
Gotta be blunt with them, man. That's what it takes. It takes being blunt. Man, what does Eric Thomas say?
Uh-oh. Shout out to E.T.
E.T. There's a quote in one of his songs. I'm listening to it, but you know I never say things right all the time. Is life doesn't give you what you
Keep going. I think I've heard this one. If life doesn't give you.
life doesn't give you what you maybe it's deserve.
Okay.
Life gives you what you earn. Something along those lines.
That makes sense, though.
Something along those lines. So if you know what I'm talking about, type it down low. David, if you're watching this, I know you know, so just type it down there for me. Good old ET quote. But
Yeah.
it's along the lines of life doesn't give you what you think you deserve from it.
You get what you earn.
Yeah, you get what you earn. So cool, you paid for a year. Because you paid for a year, that doesn't mean you deserve consistency because you paid for a year. You didn't earn it. So that's what I bought. What's the
That's real as it gets.
Is that this year? Is that the Astros quote from this year or is that last year? Earn it?
I want to say it was
I think it was last year.
last year.
But
Earn it.
that's what I would say. I would say that to anybody. Earn it. Earn it. You didn't earn it. So,
Man, real life moments. Because that's happened to me.
Yeah.
I've had I've had a lot of people that have paid for service. Not just fitness, but have paid for service and expected a result. That's like me going to the barber today and paying $49 and expecting for it to, to happen. Like, eventually he had to cut my hair.
yeah.
Can you imagine me going to the barber shop saying, hey, here's your money, and then he said, oh, all right. And he just looked at me like, dog, you got to produce the haircut,
Absolutely.
right? It's the same thing in working out. You can pay Jared whatever you want to pay him. You can join any gym that you want to join. But if you don't show up and put the work in, the success is not going to happen.
At all.
And I think for me personally, man, as I mentioned earlier about the thing that my father told me to do and told me to be, like, man, in that place, when it came to that, I wasn't confident. And a non-confident Chris is not a good Chris.
Yeah.
Like, can y'all imagine seeing Chris not confident? That's not the best Chris, right? In that moment, I hesitated. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen me hesitate at anything. In that moment, I was very passive. I was very, I'm going to say it the way that I felt. I felt very weak. Like, my mind, my words, it didn't matter. I felt that my presence wherever I was at didn't matter. And the only thing that was separating me was action that was already, like, provided for me to do.
Yeah.
And, man, if anybody is hearing anything that I'm saying right now, if you have the blueprint, man, put action to it.
Action.
And I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say that it's going to go perfect, but I am saying you're going to get something out of it. And if we're using working out for an example, if we're telling you to burn more fat and build more muscle, it's going to give you the body that you deserve. As long as you move forward and put action towards it, it may not actually get you to what the picture that you have on your refrigerator looks like. But if you do it, I promise you're going to be a lot closer than you are now. What you think, Jay? You looking for something?
Yeah. I posted this today.
Read it.
You can.
5 hours ago. The only person who never makes a mistake is a person that never does anything. Ooh, Theo. Ooh. That's real, bro.
I posted that today.
That's
It's
confirmation.
crazy that we just.
That's confirmation. Man, I just love people. I love the Mean Green fan. I love you, Jay. Like, it's just, you said the term, what would you tell that person? You said you would be real. And I think what we're trying to tell you guys is to move. Move, man. Like, you're going to have to move one way or the other. If you don't have direction, find someone. You still got to move.
Yeah.
Right? Move and find someone that can educate you or lead you or develop you. Like, move, take action. If you have the blueprint, move, man. And the part that I like to say just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And if they not about it, move, B. Get out the way. Like, I'm so, like,
I love it.
I think as I end this podcast, I think that's the one thing having Christopher and Caleb has helped me mature at, was not be so, don't care about other people's feelings about you if it's not good for you. Like, I used to really care about what people who did not like me, I used to care about that. Does that make sense though? I can host an event. I can host the Beast Mode games. We can have over 500 athletes there, over 2,000 people there. And I get 2 people to put something in a comment section that was tagged on somebody else's post that I was supposed to never see. And I wanna fix the problem. Like, I heard this. I don't know if it's true, but I believe in it. It says there are people that are created and they will be born in your life. And no matter what you do, they're going to love you for who you are. Then there's another set of people that will not like you when they meet you, but they will begin to love you because of who you are. And then there are other people that are going to love you, but eventually not like you for what you do. And with those 3 different styles of people, and then fourth one, because it's broken into 4 sets of 25. Then there are people that just don't like you. No matter what you do, they're not going to like you. Yeah. And because of that, man, I think having Christopher and Caleb put me in that position. And to be explicit, because I talked to the dad and hear this, like, you don't want that, bro. The reason why I started coaching baseball for them is because one of the parents that was the coach, they were running the bases. And at the age that they're in, nobody's coaching. You're just kind of making sure nobody, swallow a baseball, right? So Christopher and Caleb never played a day of baseball in their life. We don't really watch it day in, day out at home. So when they hit the first base, instead of going up to second base, they just cross the pitcher mount and they're going to third base. And the parent, I guess the coach didn't know that Christopher and Caleb was my son. So he was like, God damn, he don't know how to run bases. Goodness, why they on this field? And I heard that. And that's what's really changed in my life. You don't say that or do anything that brings opposition or harm to my kids.
Yeah.
But I was the same Chris that want to read the comment section and fix it.
Yeah.
But now I think it gives me that confidence where if you're not for me, cool, get out the way.
Yeah.
And I have no apology about that. Like Jared, I'm about to start a new workout program next week. Like, if I tell somebody about it and they want to detour me or discourage me, that's cool that they had their opinion, but move, get out the way.
Absolutely.
We're about to open another facility, I believe. Y'all might not want it, but those that do, great. But if you don't want it, move, get out the way. And the last one I leave with, even my mini-me thoughts that I have sometimes emotionally and mentally when I tell myself that I can't do it or it can't be done, I'm telling those thoughts, move, get out the way, man. So, I'm just pumped, Jay. That's all I have for today, man.
No, I love it, man. Just headed down those same paths. All of that, I think, reigns true for me personally. I think the biggest thing that stops me from moving is, and it's crazy because books, everything is on this, but my fear of making mistakes, which is why that spoke to me so strongly. Like, my fear of not doing things right. I'm so meticulous with details, and I want this to go right and this to go right and this to – and sometimes that stops me from making moves because I want everything to go right.
Right.
And so I know I got the passion. I know I got the – if you don't believe in me, cool. I literally spent 4 years of my life believing in myself, and it worked out. So I know I can believe in myself. So, that's never been a problem, but it's the mistakes. And what I have to say to y'all is make them. Make them. If you're not making mistakes, again, you're not doing anything. So everybody's going to make mistakes. And even for those people that don't believe in you, you want to open a gym. You know how many people want to open a gym?
Right.
You think I'm upset that I want to open a gym? I'm about to open a gym. You don't want it, but I'm not supposed to. You know how many people want to open a gym? So that's kind of
I said B. Don't try to put that word on a snippet and put the real words there. That's real.